Let's get started. xbid.ai is an AI agent. It currently trades on Stellar and it can do it all. Delta neutral strategies, yield farming, leverage loops, hedging with AMM as well, rebalancing collaterals. There is virtually nothing that it cannot do. And you can check the terminal at xbid.ai to see it in action. It currently test runs on mainnet. So the way I like to describe it, xbid.ai is an open experiment built on the premise that with real stake and a memory of outcomes, selection pressure shapes behavior. And I invite you to read the blog to understand better this core concept. So the code is open source, available on GitHub as well. But what we are going to talk about today is xbid.ai flexible plugin system for data ingestion. In this first video, we'll walk through the Reflector adapter. You'll see how to use Reflector Oracles on Stellar to feed the agent with prices, normalize them, and expose observables as well, like slope, for example, linear trend lines for prices, which strategies can then consume. So now let's open the config file default.js, and we are going to scroll down to the ingester sources section. And as you can see here, a single line is actually needed in order to plug a new data source for xbid.ai. So it's very easy with a plugin system to add new sources to ingest for feeding your agents. And we are interested here in the Reflector one. So I'm going to open Reflector.js to explain a bit the implementation a bit later. But first, we're going to scroll down to the strategy of Reflector, and basically you can create any settings here. They are going to be provided to your adapters at runtime, and you can specify some settings for your adapters. So for example, here what we want is the list of Oracle that we're interested in pulling data from. So for example, the Reflector for Stellar Public Network, the Reflector for external sex index prices, and the Reflector as well for foreign exchange rates. But you can also add any other oracles. Because our implementation in Reflector.js, you will see only use last price, which is an interface that is supported by SEP40 for the Oracle price feeds on the Stellar network. So that's it for the configuration. Now I'm going to go very quickly to Reflector.js to go through the implementation very quickly. And basically here, our Reflector is going to fetch Oracle data prices from the network. And we are going to expose some observables to the pipelines. For example, the slope here, which is the linear trend line for the price series. We are going to also expose the raw value. And in order to make sure that we are not working with stale data, we're also going to provide the freshness, to compute the freshness based on the current date. So very quickly, if I open index.js here, as you can see, we have 4 functions that any adapter needs to expose and implement in order to be integrated to the pipeline. The first is fetch, and simply what you do, you connect to your data source, you fetch the data and you store it. Raw, you return it, so it's going to be stored raw. You can then normalize it, you can validate it against the schema. To make sure that, especially recommended if you pull data from the external world, to validate it against the schema. And then the important part here is the distillation process, where you can pick the values that you want and apply statistical method on it in order to transform them and to make them useful for your signal. So for example, here we are going to calculate the slope, so linear trend line on the price series, and also here, as you can see, the freshness in order to make sure that we are not working with stale data. And that's it basically. When you write adapters, it's going to follow the same process, and you can pull data from anywhere, any network, and feed them to xbid.ai. We saw how Reflector Oracles plug into the pipeline, how we normalize their prices and expose observables like slope and freshness that strategies can then consume. Next time, we'll write a strategy similar to the delta hedging one with AMMs, using this Reflector data to buy and sell here. xbid.ai is an AI, again, born on Stellar, built to evolve and roam anywhere. Check the blog and at blog.xbid.ai. The code is open source. See you in the next one.